That's what I'm talking about right now. We ask it, no mistakes. Whatever happens, happens. We saw it right here going over the names. BCB Live, we're the safest station in the nation. We're at Women in Trucking. Drive safe, Dave. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here.
We have a couple of guests here. Before we introduce, we haven't gone over the cone. What's up with the cone on the shirt?
The cone, this is one of the most commonly used traffic devices out there, traffic signaling devices out there on the road. It is a traffic cone, right? You can put them out. They put them out everywhere, construction, school, don't park. They even put them behind their van when they park so that you can see them. So this is basically, it means don't run over this. It means don't drive here. That's basically what a cone means. Don't drive right here.
I like it, pretty self-explanatory. Next to you is Stephanie Klang. Stephanie, how you doing?
Good, I'm doing good.
A lot of years. I want you to brag on yourself. I struggle reading right here. But here it goes. Brag on yourself. 39 years of trucking.
Yes.
How many million miles?
3.9 to 4. You know, you'd start losing count at that.
I'd go to 4. I just round
just
up.
take 4.
That's a lot of trucking miles. That's a lot of trucking miles.
4 million miler, 3.9 million miles. Obviously, when you drive that many miles over the road, I mean, it wasn't all sunshine. Drive Safe Dave drove for many years, but he was on that lower half, you know.
Listen, I did most. So somebody asked me, were they all safe miles? And I said, absolutely between the crashes. Every one of them was 100% safe between each crash. But I'm just telling you, it's all about bragging rights, right?
That's right. If you only know this much information, you're in. So that's hilarious.
So before we go, let's talk to us about some of the challenges of being over the road. And I want to talk on that safety side because that's a lot of miles. That's when you're driving that many miles over the road, you're going in that snow, that ice, that wind, all those conditions, and you have to be safe out there.
Yes. Well, I drove for CFI, and they constantly did driver training. And they use the Smith system. And I don't remember it in order, but I remember it the way I can do it is you aim high in your steering, you keep your eyes moving so you get the big picture. You always leave yourself an out and make sure they see you. Those are the 5 keys of safety. So we always concentrated on keeping a bubble of safety around us and always looking for an out in dangerous situations. But and you have to increase that in ice and snow and rain. And we see a lot of dangerous situations out there. From 1980 to 2001, I was accident free. From 2001 to 2018, I was hit 4 times, just from increased traffic, increased distraction, and just increased chances taken by cars.
Wow.
So, traffic is very challenging out there anymore, and you have to be extra careful.
All right, we're going to jump over here to Andrea. And Andrea, right before we went on air, I was getting to your last name too, because I didn't want to butcher that online, but now we're here, and now it's Andrea. How do you say your last name?
Adeyanju.
Yeah, Andrea.
Yeah.
Director of Driver Engagement here at Women in Trucking. Talk to us, what does that mean?
I am basically over everything that connects a driver to an opportunity. So I'm over the Girl Scout events, I'm over Whitney, I'm also over the image team. So pretty much anything that can touch a driver, mentorship, that's what I'm involved in. So I love it.
Hey, so here we are. We're at the Women in Trucking, and we've met a lot of executives. We've met a lot of people, women coming up in the leadership role. This is one of the first drivers that we've had here at the Women in Trucking, here on the show, here talking. And let me tell you, it's to me, ultimately, it all spins back to where the rubber meets the road.
Absolutely.
And it spins right back to the driver in the truck.
Well, that is very true, but I did work in marketing for CFI for a couple of years after driving, and it really opened my eyes to everyone who works in the building. It's all a well-meshed machine.
Oh yeah,
Our
absolutely.
trucks don't roll if we don't have someone booking the freight,
Right.
if we don't have somebody, dispatching, if we don't have mechanics fixing them. So I would give school tours, and I said, these 600 people here keep 2,500 trucks rolling. So it's all,
All the-
each other. It's
Cogs
each,
in the wheel to
yeah,
make it work.
Yep, keeping the wheels turning.
Yep.
Exactly. So, yeah, we are customer service out there for the customers because I did 48 state in Canada. We are the people that they see, but I never felt alone out there. There's all these people behind me making sure that I'm driving safe and making sure I'm getting there with what I need.
Absolutely.
So I don't like to just say, it was all me, it was all me. It was not.
You could learn something.
Yeah, would
Dave.
you learn
could
something
learn
here?
Honestly, being out on the road, you had your back, you had your supporter, you couldn't have gotten the job done. And out there on the road as a truck driver, you really weren't alone. I mean, you had other drivers.
Absolutely.
I mean, you had your
other
peers.
drivers.
You had that team out there that knew what you did, and you knew that you could ask for help back, and you still can. And here we go. We move forward, and we're here at Women in Trucking. Never before have we seen an influx of women into the seat like we have here recently in the last
Absolutely.
4 or 5 years.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited about that because we won't succeed in this industry without women out there driving trucks, right? Do y'all agree with that?
I absolutely
I do.
agree with that. And that's why, our WIT index actually increased and showed our numbers have increased. We used to be closer to 10%, and now it's closer to 13.9% women inside of the industry. So we are moving that trajectory forward to get women inside of the industry.
How do we get them in there? How do we get more in there? How do we get to that number where the workforce, women in the workforce, is 57%?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean,
right?
but you know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say
I
is
hear
that
ya.
that workforce number should be around 57%.
I think trucking companies are finally coming to the realization that women need more of a work-life balance. Men can go out and work and be gone a little more than women can. It's not necessary. Like, we have some women here that their husbands take over at home, but traditionally women like to build the nest. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
So more of a work-life balance, and we can get more women out here.
So how do trucking companies get better at that or understand what all of that means? Because here all of a sudden is you have this and to your point right there is that you have a woman out there driving right now. I'm just going to say it, and now you're like, oh, well, she's got to be home 3 days a week. Okay, well, get her home 3 days a week.
Well, freight has changed, right? What used to be before the truck driver role has
Yeah.
changed. It used to be you were a long hauler. That's
Agreed.
all we did. We did long haul. We
Agreed.
did long haul. We did
Agreed.
long
All
haul.
we did.
And now we have more of an opportunity to kind of, relay that freight, or, where you can take it to a hub and somebody else takes it on to the next location and that kind of thing. So freight has actually changed. And I think that most companies now are looking at the big picture. What options can we give people? Looking at more opportunities for female drivers and male drivers alike, because it's not just a female problem. Males want to be home too. So it's finding that balance. And I think if the pandemic taught us anything, is that we can do our jobs just a little bit differently.
And we need, and I'm going to say this is one thing that we as an industry continue to need is that the optimizing system. These things that help the
Optimize.
computer where we as humans can't see it, we can't think it through. We need systems in place, technology in place to help us see these to get drivers home through the house 2 or 3 days a week. Any driver.
Absolutely.
To get the drivers home. I was listening to Volvo. They were speaking on their electric vehicle. They brought this point up here that 37% of all freight has a length of haul of like 250 miles. And when you think about that, there's a lot of freight that moves between the domicile out and back. There's a lot more freight of that than what we really believe is out there. And we've got to find a way to see that freight, to use that freight to get us back home to change. We can't
Absolutely.
be afraid to change this industry. No longer do you have to stay out 2, 3, 4, 8 weeks at a time. Mm-hmm. Those days are over.
Absolutely.
No, I wouldn't want them to be over. I'm telling you, from my 20s to my 40s, I loved.
Yep.
The longer the load, the better.
100%.
I
agree.
had it from Jersey
The
to
safer-
Reno.
yeah,
I
the
mean, it
safer the
was,
load, too.
cha-ching, I was there. I loved being away from home. It was my niche. But later in life, I would have liked a little more balance. So we still have adventurers out there, right?
100%.
So,
young people that want to get out and see the world.
Absolutely.
And
I
have
think
an
we have
opportunity.
room for both. I think we have room.
I think there's space.
Yeah, there's space there.
I would agree.
Talk to us a little bit about Whitney in the back. I saw the trailer back there, and
This is
and
her
I
baby.
want to hear about Whitney because not only is that truck and trailer out there. By the way, that truck's gonna be given to somebody, right?
In March.
Wow.
We're really excited. And if you haven't put in your application for that, I would encourage you to do so. So go to womenintrucking.org and go ahead and apply because somebody's going to get it. Why not be you?
So I joined, and I'm working on my essay now.
Okay, great. I'm glad. I'm glad we'll put it in for consideration.
Just trying. I'm just saying. Just
It'll be great.
inclusive.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
No, here it is. My question to you is, and I know you've got this beautiful trailer back here. How are we getting the? So here's my, and I know it's kind of a trick question, but really to go move forward, we've got to see the elementary schools. We got to see the high
And we
schoolers.
are. And we are. We are.
How? And she's got to be the hero.
And she is.
I know, and they've got to see her and
Absolutely.
understand
Absolutely.
that that's who they want to be, right? That I want to be just like her.
Absolutely. So Whitney is our Women in Trucking educational trailer. And it has some interactive kiosks inside where we take a quiz to see if you have what it takes to be a truck driver, as well as some inspirational stories from women inside the industry. One had a health issue to where she didn't take care of her health and she only got a 1-year card, and so she needed to make that right. And so she changed her schedule with her company and was able to work out small changes to keep her in the seat to get her health back in check. So there's just some inspirational things, as well as a simulator in the back, so that everybody who goes to the trailer has an opportunity to actually drive the truck, so to speak, for down the roadway. I'm not very good at it. I crash all the time. But anyway, that's really not about the thing. But that's
between the crashes that we can.
right. I forgot. That's my deal. Between the crashes, I'm a really successful driver.
Exactly.
Dave said it.
Yeah,
It's true.
It's got to be true.
So that's the kind of opportunity that we have, and we get to take her into schools, Girl Scout events, corporate events.
And there is a WIT Girl Scout patch.
Oh,
Girl
yes.
Scout patch. Yeah.
Yes, there is a Girl Scout patch for trucking. So
I've heard that. So talk to me when you're doing that, when they're earning that patch, what kind of feedback do you get from the Girl Scouts?
they're in awe of what it takes to be a driver, and not only just a driver, because that's not the only thing we talk about. We talk about transportation as a whole.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because
Yeah, I like that.
dispatch, brokering,
Absolutely.
Mechanics.
sales, mechanic, technicians.
Yep.
I mean, there's a space for you inside of trucking, and that's the thing that we want people to start thinking about. These younger generations, transportation is such a huge industry, and there's a job for you. We just have to find it. So what can we do as in Women in Trucking to help you find your role inside of the industry?
And it's nice because I look at the Whitney trailer, and what it does is it tells me is that we're investing in that future. Right?
Yeah.
We're trying to find a way to invest in those people to appreciate what trucking is, because I think outside of, I think trucking for a while became somebody's second career.
Oh, yeah,
I would say,
I would agree.
If you met most of the truck drivers out there, they started out either in the Army or they started out doing something, but then they moved into trucking as a second career. Not saying you, but I'm just saying that a lot of people out there, and how do we get them into the first career? How do we
That's the
get
thing.
them
I think
there?
that's
How do we-
awareness, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what you're doing.
That's a huge awareness issue that we have, because nobody talks about trucking being an option in high school. We tell everybody that you got to go to college, you got to go do this, we don't even talk about the trades or anything. So we are going into those high schools, middle school ages to kind of bring them through the trailer to have an opportunity. We went actually to Bentonville, Arkansas,
High school.
the high school there, and we had juniors and seniors go to the trailer, and just to kind of have an opportunity to go to the trailer as well as the cab of the truck and talk with some of our image team members. Stephanie was there as one of our image team members, just to learn more about the industry, to ask some strategic questions about what they could do inside the industry, and just perking their interest.
Yeah.
It's not about making a decision
Agree.
today, but planting those seeds now. It's what it's all about.
And we have to make sure that we're ready for that, meaning that we have got to make sure our industry,
The infrastructure,
the infrastructure. We have to make sure that we're ready to, and we talk about all the time about, hey, about sitting at docks, shipping receivers. These drivers, they get to a location, they have to sit for 2 hours free or whatever those, and that doesn't make any sense. Where else in America, where else do you go to a job?
Right.
You show up on time, Dave. Can you imagine going into the office, you're there, and you're like, hey, by the way, your first 2 hours are free. We'll start paying you in 2 hours. It doesn't make any, we've got to make sure our industry is ready for these things. Stephanie, what have you seen? I mean, do you think, how far do we have to go to make our industry better, than what it was, say, 15 years ago? To make it better for the kids that we're talking to right now to come out of high school, to come into this and be happy with what they have.
What I would speak to when I would go to high schools is, I had my big PowerPoint and I said, these are the steps you would have to take. They don't even know where to start. So these are the steps. There's a truck driving school. Find a truck driving school that's sponsored by a trucking company because they monitor how well the school is doing. And you go out with a mentor. And there's always constant training. And then there are steps to go through and making them aware. Because like myself, I didn't even know where to start. I married a driver. And back in that day, they just let you get on with your husband. And he says, oh, you can let your husband train you, it's fine. I didn't go to a school. I didn't, the company was very flexible, but that was in 1980. So something that has bothered me is I'm a big, don't be laughing at me or with me.
I'm laughing with you. I remember the days there were schools.
Oh yeah, I'm such oldies here. I listen to TED Talks, technology, entertainment, and design. And I am so disappointed. There's no future of transportation. There's no future of trucking. Nobody, it's like we're not out there. Nobody thinks about how we are going to stock the grocery shelves in the future. To me, that's pretty important if I can't get my milk from my cereal.
Wait till they don't get it.
Yes, but I don't.
We learned that in the pandemic.
We learned that. We found heroes right here in the pandemic.
Yes.
We found heroes.
Yes.
How do we keep that? How do we keep that heroism and that alive today, so that people don't forget what's important?
I think it's communication. And socials and everything. All of us have to do it together. We can't do it by ourselves. It has to be a collective effort. And so all transportation industry as a whole, if we can be positive about what we do, we all know we have bad days, but if we can all be positive about the impacts that we are making, the strides that we're doing, the forward thinking that we have, it'll be great.
Do we brag enough about what we do as an industry? Do we brag enough?
Or complain more?
Well,
What are we guilty most
We're
of?
heroes for crying out loud.
Right.
All the time we're going out there. Are we bragging on ourselves, or are we sitting back watching these commercials about these lawsuits? Are they in the way? Been another big truck in the way? Call this number. Are we telling the world that who we are and what we do?
We need to do a better job of our accolades and letting people know about our champion successes.
Yes.
Because it only takes one bad video
Absolutely.
to taint the last 100 great videos that we had.
Yes.
And because it sells better, I guess, for whatever reason. I think we learned that.
It's hard to look away from a train wreck. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just hard.
It's hard.
Right. So I think as like these events, if we can just champion what we're doing, our successes, it's just what it's all about. And we want to come alongside and hear about the successes as far as women in trucking goes, about what's going on in the industry. Male, female, it doesn't matter. We're all winning.
And I know we're talking and we're doing a lot of great things now. Here's one I'm throwing at you. What do we really need to do that we're not doing now that we can make this better?
Make what better?
The industry as a whole. What are we not doing yet that we really need to do?
More training. I would say more and safer
I like
training.
that. And
Trucking companies are being squeezed with fuel and everything,
Yeah.
and I think some of them may be cutting back or shortening the training. I think we need more training, more mentoring,
That's what I was gonna say,
more
it's more-
education, more education. More simulators out there, so come on down to the Whitney trailer and drive the simulator.
Absolutely.
Great, love it.
And find yourself a mentor. I can't speak
Yeah.
about mentorship enough. I mean, if you're new to the industry, find somebody that you can come alongside you and walk with you to rise you to the next level. And whether that's going to be a better driver and staying being a driver, fine, great. But if you want to better yourself to go into operations or go into something different, align yourself with some amazing individuals inside the industry.
Yeah, don't be afraid to tell your story too to somebody
Absolutely.
that needs to hear your story. Let them know that, and whether it's a kid or it's a co-worker, share your story
Absolutely.
with people.
I did find that when I was talking to high schools, because I said I was very bashful in high school, I stuttered, I was raised by a single mother on a welfare check with a younger brother and sister, and I said I wanted out, and I had to improve myself and move up, and I did it. It was not easy. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. It took a lot of hard work, but it can be done.
And that's what Whitney is all about. And on the very end of Whitney, it says, you can do it. You have what it takes. You can do it. And so we love women in trucking. We love what we do here, and we love taking Whitney around and taking her into schools and everywhere. So love it.
I got here, and as we've walked around, and we've talked to so many people here. We want to talk about the positivity that we've run into here. I mean, which is way different than other conferences, right?
No, it's not even close. I mean, there's something special that's going on.
It's electric, right?
You can feel it, you can see it. You see it in the smiles, you see it in people talking. I'm just talking, coming up and talking. I mean, and I feel like there's going to be solutions to some of the things that's going on here. Action will happen after this.
After this, it has to.
It's just amazing.
You grab enough women together, we're going to solve a problem. But what problem are we trying to solve? And once we understand that, sky's the limit. We're going to be breaking ground. It'll be great.
You know, I don't know if you have, but we've talked to a few people about this, and I just think that with women in trucking, the same thing. Is there a way that we can put 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of us trucking companies together and work on things together? That way we can share ideas, successes, what's making them success. What are they doing better for the industry? What are they doing to educate the kids better than what we're doing? So we can work things together, so we can kind of take this big
problem,
and bring it back down
Absolutely.
to more inclusion
Do all
amongst
10
us.
have to make the same mistake? Do all 10 have to make it and do it again and again? Do all 10 companies have to just screw up 10? I mean, can we not? Can I not just say, hey?
I've already done that.
I've already done that. That's not a good idea.
Well, just wait a little bit, because trucking companies are consolidating like mad. They'll all be
Isn't it
one
nuts
company
right
soon.
now? There's a lot of
Moving and
going
shaking.
on.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of moving
But
and
there's a
shaking.
lot of panels and there's a lot of discussions that are happening. And what I love about the panel discussions specifically is that you have competitors on the same panel and that are coming together to make a collective impact for the industry. So I mean, I think we're doing that space.
Good.
And here at the Women in Trucking Accelerate Conference, that's one of the things that we love to do. So come on out. If you're not here, come on out. There's still time. We're still doing a lot of things this afternoon and tomorrow.
This industry needs all of us.
Absolutely.
All of
Right?
us.
You can't do it. One company isn't going to make it happen. I don't care how big Walmart, JB Hunt, they cannot do it without all of it. We have got to make this industry a little bit better, especially to attract those younger drivers into, or younger kids into our industry for certain on that. Drive safe, Dave. Thank you so much, ladies. I want to thank you for being on the show. This is BCB Live, but hold on, before you go, we've got to read this up here. Both of you at the same time or one at a time? Let's just do, Andrea, you first, right there.
My name is Andrea Adeyanju, and I am with Women in Trucking, and you're watching BCB Live, the safest station on the nation.
Woo! There you go. One more, here we go.
My name is Stephanie Klang, and I am with Women in Trucking, and you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Awesome.
There
Thank
you
y'all
go.
so much.
Thank you
Be
so
good.
much.
We'll be back with more BCB Live in just a few minutes.